On today's show, I am going to make the best oven-baked chicken and rice. I'm using chicken thighs, a whole lot of spices, mushrooms, garlic, onions. This is going to be delicious, so let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Diabetic Diet Show. The first thing I've done is preheat the oven to 425, and then I've put my cast iron pan in there to preheat the pan. And we're going to be working with some chicken thighs today, which are the most juicy out of all the chicken. To get started with our seasoning, I have some olive oil that I'm going to put in a mixing bowl. Grab a whisk, and I have all the ingredients ready to go. So this first one here is a seasoning, and you can use pretty much any kind of seasoning that you want. By the way, you don't have to remember all these seasonings. If you just hit the subscribe button down there on the bottom where it says more, you'll see all the recipe. But you want a seasoned pepper, you want a few of these ingredients which are important to the taste, and the rest of them are just basic ingredients like parsley, here is oregano, thyme, garlic powder, I hear the ducks honking, it must be dinner time, onion powder, salt and pepper, your chicken. This is a mix of sea salt and garlic salt. We'll have to do the other side with those in just a little bit. So here's the mix that I have. And I didn't measure the olive oil because it's hard to know how much olive oil you're going to need, because it's going to depend on the size of your chicken thighs, and so you can put a little more oil as you go. That was a grape seed oil that I just mixed with the olive oil. Keeps it from burning. It has a higher burn rate. Now I have a slurry mix, and we can go and get the frying pan out of the oven and get it rolling here. Be very careful around kids and things with this frying pan. Remember, it's 425 degrees. And I have a little handle cover. Those are really important to have. And my gloves. Just Rub that salt and pepper in there. Turn them over. Let's do it again. These have little magnets on them, which you want to keep them closed. Salt. Pepper. A little more. Those are the two major important ingredients. Let's get them in here. Like this. And then we're going to put them in the frying pan, skin side down. Try not to melt my gloves. Just like that. And then we will throw this in the oven. Even though I have the cover on the handle, I am still going to put on the gloves. Now let's make our rice. I'm going to use a rice pot today. If you don't have a rice pot, which basically just cooks it in about 30 minutes, you could just put this in a baking dish and throw it in the oven. You already have an oven that's 425 degrees. So the first ingredient I'm going to put in is the chicken broth. Then I'm going to add some water. And some garlic. Seasoning, pepper, liberal amount, paprika, about a palm. Paprika's not all that crazy of a spice. You can be liberal with it. And that chicken flavoring again to marry the two together. Then I will lightly stir this with a whisk. That's all you have to do with this. When it clicks, it's done. Now, we need to do some onions. So for the onions, I pre-cut them up into chevrons. And I'm going to use my chopper. I was researching and I read online that this is how the Italian grandmas made the Italian food. It's better for your stomach if the onions and things are cut up like this. Now I'm going to put the onions in here on top of this. Then add my rice. Give it another stir. Kind of blend it in together. What's funny is I forgot to put the rice in earlier. That would have been funny in about 25 minutes. From now, when I looked at it and realized there's no rice in the rice pot, and the measuring cup is still sitting on the island. I have done stuff like that before. I have filmed shows and forgot to turn the camera on. In a great big frying pan, heat it up, get it hot, put in some olive oil to start with. After you put in your olive oil, then put in butter. Most people would use 2 or 3 tablespoons for this. I'm using a half a stick. I find it's just better to do. Now we just have to wait for our butter to melt. And we have our garlic that we're going to put in a little bit. And I have our mushrooms. Once again, I'm going to put the mushrooms in the chopper. I'm going to try not to make soup out of them, but I do want to give them a coarse chop. That one doesn't want to go. I'm only going to cook this for a short little bit here. Now that I have the mushrooms mixed with the liquid, I need to turn this fire way down low. Get my garlic in here. Wow, does that smell good? The chicken and the rice are all done. When my timer beeped, I went and turned them over just for a little bit, just to brown the other side. One of the things you need to do is to keep an eye on the temperature of meat when you're cooking it. You need to have a digital thermometer. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen that I use the Taylor remote thermometer that shows me the current temperature and the target temperature. And when it gets to the target temperature, it beeps to let me know that I've achieved that. And it actually did it quicker than the 45 minutes that I had suggested we do that. So it kind of saves your chicken from overcooking. Now we have the rice and we have the mushroom mix. Has been sitting for just a little bit. To put the mushroom mix in the bowl, just like that. Get rid of this. And the rice is done. So I'll dig in with some of my rice. And I want to slowly fold this in because I may have more rice than I do the mushroom mix, and I want to keep it a pretty good consistency. There's only 2 of us, and you know, if you're going to cook, you might as well cook enough to have leftovers. Of course, if you have a big family, you know, you need all of it anyway, but just for Barb and myself, this will be enough. Now, let's grab a plate for serving up. And we'll put some rice out here in the middle in a bed. Just like this. Maybe a little more. That looks delicious. And then our chickens can go here, just like this. And I have a spoon that I can spoon some of the fond out of the pan right on top of the chicken. Sometimes people just put this right in with the rice. And we will next put a little bit of salt and pepper. You can always add more on the table. Just like that. And then this is the chopped chives. I ordered real alive chives, but couldn't get them. I'm having a lot of troubles getting things that I want to order these days, and sometimes you have to just go with the dry. So that's the meal for the day. It's going to be pretty hearty, the two chicken thighs with all the rice, mushrooms, and onions, and the garlic. It's going to be delicious. So thanks for watching. And if you would like to see some more shows just like this, here's a couple more.